Good day. I am Yuan Chongyan, and I am going to present on the topic performance management. Why does it fail, and how to improve employee performance? Now, first, let us define performance management. Now, performance management is a pervasive practice that organizations use to measure and manage employees' work. Another important definition states that performance management is a regulated and established procedure used to inform the employees of particular job expectations, assess employees' performance in relation to those targets, and use the results of those assessments to support talent management choices on remuneration, hiring, and advancement. Now, the three common business objectives often associated with performance management is one, fulfilling any legal or contractual obligations that demand for articulating, communicating, and routinely assessing and reporting employee performance in line with these objectives. Another of which is rewarding competent employees by discovering the employees who are contributing the most to the company and offering them much greater rewards and recognition in the form of money, job prospects, and development tools. Now, last but not least, we have boosting individual productivity and retention by facilitating higher levels of mentorship, constructive criticism, and career related discussions. But the most important question is that why does it fail? Now, as long as a new approach holds promise for increasing performance management effectiveness, organizational members from top level leaders to human resource professionals seem to flock to it. What more, new performance management processes are immediately adopted even without sufficient consideration on the impacts of implementation, ensuring its efficacy or whether they fit even in the business culture. Now, as a result, this has led to vicious cycles of organizations reinventing their performance management systems every few years, only to suffer implementation failures that necessitate reinventing the system again and again and again. Now, another reason why performance management fails is that within formal administrative systems, performance management has been reduced to predetermined, frequently separate phases with closely watched outcomes. Now, although formal performance management systems are intended to drive and reinforce the day to day activities of communicating ongoing expectations, setting short term objectives, and giving continual guidance as work is planned and executed, these behaviors seem to have become largely disconnected from the formal systems. So, to improve performance in employees, one thing to consider is that change in the interventions for performance management or an uncontrolled rollout of performance management system changes should stop. Now, this is because making changes to the formal performance management system has not been shown to improve performance management effectiveness. Further, implementing new practices that seem compelling but are difficult or practical to sustain can cause negative consequences such as eroded credibility and increasingly negative attitudes towards performance management. Another change to consider is to focus more on enhancing manager-employee dialogue and other elements of the relationship that are essential for efficient performance management. Although well-developed tools and systems can facilitate performance management, these alone do not yield effective performance management as this can only occur between people. However, it is important to recognize that despite this, there is no single way to fix performance management. What works well for one company can fail miserably for another. For instance, strict goal cascading techniques that succeed admirably in well-established retail organizations but that are likely to fail spectacularly in high-tech startups. So the optimal strategy depends on the company's business requirements and culture, the types of workers and the tasks they are performing, and a manager's abilities and incentives. This concludes my presentation, and these are my sources. Thank you.